Was declaring independence really a good move?
Hi, I'm Milan.
Hey, I'm Matthew. We were both given the opportunity to ask for a once-in-a-lifetime experience from a certain organization that rhymed with shake a fish. So for our wish, we asked to start our very own podcast. I'm just kidding. I went to Boston, New York to watch baseball.
I went to Paris and you're at Disney, but now we have a podcast too.
Welcome to the Wish Kids.
Today we have a very special guest. Milan, thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Just kidding. This is my brother, Brooks, all the way from Amsterdam.
Hi.
Yes, and I heard you just had a baby. Congrats.
Thank you. I did. My little boy had him 3 months ago, and he's a delight, and he's very tiring and very fun. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
how do you feel about traveling since you're from Amsterdam and we are not in Amsterdam?
Yeah, USA.
I'm still American. Yeah. Man, traveling with a baby's different. So this little guy, obviously he's young. So we had to take care of him most of the flight. And the flight itself was like 10 hours long.
That's a long flight. I remember that.
So, usually on a long flight, you get pretty bored and you kind of have to think of things to do to fill the time. So we prepared and we brought movies and TV shows and books and stuff.
For you guys, not for the baby.
No, for us to watch. We did not get far on anything. We watched a quarter of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and that's all we got done.
That's the best one.
So that's all we got to do. The rest of it was just like sleeping or taking care of the baby. And it felt like the flight was actually pretty fast, to be honest.
That's good.
Yeah. Busy.
Did your baby cry at all? After the air changed and their ears have that adjustment?
Were you those people on the plane with the baby that everyone cowers in fear from? Oh God, it's a person with a baby.
How dare you? Yeah, though. We were. We actually, it was pretty good. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but newborn babies, they wake up every 2.5 to 3 hours and they cry and they want to eat and they poop and then you have to change a diaper and then do a little cycle.
And this was a 10-hour plane ride.
10-hour plane ride. So I think he woke up 4 times. And then he didn't cry on the way up, but he did cry all the way down. So that was 15 minutes of crying.
Is there, I've never looked, but are there changing tables in the plane for babies?
They're in the bathroom. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. I've never
thing that you pull down and you can change them right on there.
Oh.
Drops off over the toilet and you just change them right there.
Such a small bathroom already.
It's so small. Yeah. I know.
But I'd never noticed that or thought to look.
I think we need to talk about just how amazing airplane bathrooms are. How many things are fit into one small.
I enjoy going to the bathroom on airplanes, actually.
Wow. Okay.
A lot of people hate it, but it's just a different world in there. Everything's so loud, all the air is so compressed around you, and especially when you flush, it's oh my God.
It's just air. It's just there's nothing it's so fascinating. Where does it go? That is my question.
Where does it go?
There were rumors that it
shoots out.
Flush, it literally just shot out the bottom. I don't think that's true though.
That can't. I
where.
The cheaper planes just flush it out into the sky.
Where
generic airlines versus fancy airline.
Yeah, if you're in the upscale neighborhood, of course not.
That's what you're over.
Yeah, I don't know.
So the Atlantic Ocean, dump it, but the Pacific Ocean, no, that's
keep it clean.
Yeah,
keep it clean. Yeah.
Sorry to all the East Coasters. Atlantic Ocean's great. It's nice and warm.
We just lost half our audience.
Yeah. Well, now we're down to 2.
It's just us listening to our own.
Yeah, but that's
but it was good though. It was a good travel experience with the baby. I would say it takes a lot of willpower and lots of attention, but we did it and it was actually not too hard. Pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Was that your first time flying with a baby, or have you done it
Yeah,
before within the
it
3.
was. Yeah, it was the first time. Yeah, I don't. Maybe this is personal, but I don't want to have a lot of kids because I like to handle one, and
You
that's.
don't want to have like the 19 and counting.
I don't want to take up an
situation.
entire row of a European to American flight with my children.
That would be, yeah.
That'd be a lot.
That's
of,
expensive.
that's the reason.
That's
yeah.
really
That's the
expensive.
reason. Right. Yeah. Actually, fun fact: for little babies, you don't need to buy them a seat on the plane.
Oh,
Yeah. You just buy your own seat, and then they sit on your lap.
oh yeah. I mean, that's the same for sporting events. Like when you go to a baseball game,
Yeah,
they sit on your lap. You don't have to pay for them.
Nice.
They get the giveaway though, which is great. Because then you get to have it because they're too young to have it. So
They don't remember.
Yeah.
That's great.
Really.
The only reason Matthew has a kid is for the goodie bags.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Free stuff.
This one's getting old. Let's get another one.
Yeah.
I understand. I'm not lending you my kid.
Well, the free stuff. I'll split it with you though.
Fine. Deal. Okay. Deal.
Speaking of Matthew having kids, do you feel any pressure to be a really fun uncle?
Yeah, actually, I want to be cool. I hope I'm not creepy.
That's you.
Yeah, there's just a lot of stereotypes on TV that are bad, and I want to be one of the cool stereotypes.
I feel like the creepy uncles only exist in like bigger families. Like you gotta have a cool uncle, and there's always like the one
Yeah.
creepy uncle.
Yeah, you got to be the
Yeah.
Uncle Jesse
Who?
Uncle Jesse.
from Full House.
Oh yeah, 90s references.
Is this still cool? That's a teaser for later. Stick around for that segment.
If you like this reference, a lot more for
You're
you.
gonna hate the other ones. But no, yeah, I want to be a cool uncle. Definitely. I actually a few nights ago I was shaving, and I kept just my mustache for a little bit and debated whether to keep that to really go with the whole mustache stereotype uncle.
Uncle vibes.
Yeah, real
Yeah.
uncle vibes.
Yeah.
Decided against it. Glad I did.
Yes, I think we all are.
Yeah.
We're all in agreement with that.
I did have some pretty sweet mutton chops though. Also halfway through the shaving process.
Pretty sweet
That was-
mutton chops.
I'll show you those pictures.
Yeah.
That's everyone says that. That's a very common line. Pretty sweet mutton chops.
That's the first time I've heard that. Yeah, but you can work on it though.
Yeah,
In the future.
I think just the mustache or being a cool uncle.
Both.
Okay.
How do you feel about Matthew's blooming Canadian accent that he has going on now? Do you feel that will impact how you feel putting him around your child?
I think we need to introduce the segment, right?
What segment?
Let's talk about it.
Oh, let's talk about it.
Yeah. So Matthew, well, I've only heard one particular word, and that's about or about for the American speakers
Yeah.
in this room. So you
I say oat a lot recently.
For
It's
out?
like for out, yeah.
okay?
A lot of times I say to myself, figure it out when I'm having trouble with something.
Okay.
So I guess that's not really heard by others.
So that's the accent part. Do you also adopt phrases and words too?
Oh yeah. Pitter patter. Well, this is actually from
What?
a show. I told you pitter patter.
I don't remember that one.
It's pitter patter, let's get at her.
Can you use it in context, please?
Yeah, so if you're like, okay, like I'm ready for like you want to go for a bike ride? Like, yeah, pitter patter.
Let's
Like,
get at her.
Yeah. So you
Okay.
don't say the whole thing, you say pitter patter, which means like let's get going pretty much.
Okay.
So the other part's insinuated then.
Yeah. It's
Yeah. It's like one in Rome.
yeah.
You just say pitter patter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pitter
okay,
patter.
Okay. Cool.
But I say oat a lot. That
Mhm.
just sounds more fun off the tongue, I think. Figure it out.
Sorry.
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 I say sorry quite a bit.
Okay,
I
do
don't
you-
do much A's actually.
Do you say like hey there or bud or
I say-
anything like that
I say
too?
bud quite a bit.
Okay,
I text with bud quite a
Okay.
bit.
Okay.
You do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not gonna back that up. Hey bud.
But no, I used to actually finish every sentence with a question, I would say yeah or no. Like pretty good weather, no?
Okay.
Or like
Okay.
it's a
Okay.
little spicy, yeah.
I like that. I actually do like that.
Yeah, I do too. It's very like it adds a little extra
little Canadian spice,
yeah, a little,
which is very mild. Yeah, it's a little bit of maple.
Which is a pinch of salt.
Maple flavor. Yeah. Well, I would say, yeah, that's a Canadian, maybe it's a Canadian flair. And maybe we'll touch on this a bit later, but there are also like different international things like that too. Like, for example, I have an Australian buddy and he likes to say, yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Or nah, yeah,
right, yeah.
at the end too. So it just depends on what you like.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So, no, yeah. So
Is your Australian buddy also in Amsterdam, or is
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if we're gonna start talking about Amsterdam, we can start talking about our lifestyle differences between European and USA.
Yeah. I mean, we're on the topic of phrases, kind of, so we can start with that if you want.
Sure. Yeah.
Just like
Bring it on.
because I mean, you obviously came over. You hopped the.
I took a flight.
Pond. It's the pond.
Pond. That's it.
I took a flight over the Atlantic Ocean.
The pond.
The pond.
As the locals say.
As the locals say. I guess for a bit of context, I've been living in Amsterdam with my family for over 3 years now, and working there, living there. Amsterdam is in a country called the Netherlands. It's just east of England, and you can refer to it as Holland. Although, fun fact, and this may not be super exciting, but I'll just go ahead and share it anyway, captive listeners. The Holland, North Holland and South Holland are both regions inside of the Netherlands. So Holland itself is one section of the Netherlands, the whole country. So if you say like, oh, I live in Holland, that refers to a section of the Netherlands.
Wow, that was gripping.
I enjoyed that fun fact.
That was fun. So anyway, I'm living in Amsterdam now.
Yeah. And so you came over with American Saints, obviously living here for a certain amount of years before.
Longer than 3 years.
Yeah, longer. Yeah. And so have you been able to use those, or like do your coworkers and friends understand those sayings that you have?
I will answer that by saying I do use those. Whether or not my coworkers understand is a different story. So the other day I was trying to talk with a coworker, and we were talking about some plans we were making, and I was like, oh man, if we can nail this down. First of all, that's like a saying, nail this down.
That's very common.
Yeah.
I feel like.
If we can nail this thing down, that'll be a home run. And to me, it's like, what's that? It's like, oh, it's like a slam dunk. I'm like, damn. Wait, no, it's like a hole in one. I literally said those three. I'm like, it's like a really, really good thing.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Sport.
Yeah, but there's a lot of weird things like that. I think it's been fun to explain other things like slang, like especially like Southern slang, like y'all, or like, Jeet? No, Jew. It means like, did you eat? Like, no, did you?
Who says that?
Montana.
I've never heard the last one. I've heard y'all, but
Y'all,
never.
I say y'all.
Y'all's pretty common. Yeah. Saying dude is maybe it's more antiquated now. I don't know if you guys say dude a lot, but
pretty...
for sure is a phrase that people have like made fun of us for saying a lot.
In Amsterdam, they make
So we're talking with some Dutch friends, and we'd say, oh, for sure, and they'd look at us and go, for sure. Like, yeah, or totally, or definitely. So all of these weird words.
Yeah, kind of like 2000s slang. That's like,
do people say that anymore?
No, people do, but I feel like that like originated like 2000s, being like totally, or like cool.
Totally,
dude,
yeah.
Because like when I came home from school, I just started saying dude so much, and I didn't even know where I got it from. And then I realized, oh, I got it from my buddies who were like older than me and had like grown up like in that area, and then just kept saying like, oh, dude. And then I started saying that, and I'd be like, dude. It is so annoying. Everyone was just like, stop, please stop. So now I try really hard not to say dude because it is not fun in my vocabulary.
Yeah, that was definitely like a late 2000s. Was, I mean, people still say dude. Obviously, people say bro.
Yeah.
Like, what's up, bro? Like, how's it going, bro?
Yeah, I think that, and I remember the first time I heard the word tight. I did.
That's like ingrained in your memory. That's a
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
defining moment of your life. The first time you heard
It changed my life. Like learning a new language. I actually thought when someone said tight, he was saying it like tight, and I thought he was just saying like ty when I was a kid.
Oh,
Yeah, like tie.
oh, Ty.
That's super tie. I was young.
Yeah. Okay. And this was senior year of high school.
This was last year in Amsterdam. But I think those are like the main things. It's just American idioms, American sayings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I can share a few more in the post-show notes. But yeah,
That's just so strange. Like saying like totally or like for sure. I say all
for
the
sure.
time.
Yeah,
Like,
all the time.
for sure.
Mhm.
Like that's
Oh, that's awesome.
I think we've said it during our podcast before too. Like we're just like, oh yeah, for sure. Like that's definitely happened. Totally. I totally know what you're talking about.
Definitely.
For sure, dude.
Yeah.
oh, for
All
sure.
of them in one sentence.
I think that's absolutely true.
Do you ever like find yourself wondering about the Dutch slang though? Like, do they have words that you're like, what, like, are there like phrases?
I've adopted a couple of words, and I think I brought a few over
Yeah.
to the States
I've
here.
learned a few.
Yeah.
That I use once in a while.
So my favorite Dutch word is a word called lekker. It's Lekker, and I think the actual meaning is something like tasty. That's kind of the dictionary meaning of it.
Mhm.
But you know how Americans like to say nice or awesome for everything? You can use the word lekker for almost anything. So if you're, you just scored tickets to this concert that you've been trying to go to, you say, oh, lekker, like that's awesome. Or if you get a really good plate of what would be a good Dutch food, like
They have French fries.
yeah, like frites, yeah, Belgian frites or something.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, lekker man, super lekker.
Some pickled herring.
Pickled
maybe?
herring. No one would say lekker. That's good. Yeah, so lekker is a good thing to say, pretty much for any kind of use, honestly. Yeah. And then another word that I really like that Dutch people use, for specific scenarios. There's a certain feeling and a certain kind of vibe. Let's say, it's like a cool. I'll paint a picture here.
Please.
Okay, yeah. So imagine, close your eyes, listeners. If you're in a car, keep them open. But let's say it's like the end of an autumn day, right? It's like it's autumn. It was a really beautiful day. All the leaves are falling, and you're at home, and the power goes out. You're like, it's cool. I'm just hanging out, and you light a bunch of candles, and it's really just cozy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's really cozy. Mm-hmm. You just feel, I just feel so nice. That is gezellig.
And that's the one you shake your hand, right?
No, that's heerlijk.
Oh, okay.
sorry. That's gezellig. So if you really want, even if you're hanging out with friends and you're hanging out at home and it's just a really kind of cozy. I'm slapping my leg, by the way.
There's a meaty slap on this end every few seconds.
I'm just syncing the audio.
It's painting the picture. Imagine autumn day, meaty waps.
Meaty waps. But like gezellig is that kind of comfy feeling.
That's nice. I
Yeah,
like that
very
one.
homey, very comfy. You can go to a cafe or like a dimly lit bar, and that's very gezellig. So that's your Dutch word of the day. Yeah.
That's a very different pronunciation too. Like it sounds like you're like really hitting like the Z's and like the
Yeah, it's Gezellig. Gezellig.
Oh, that's not even close,
Is it
Alex.
gezellig? Gezellig.
Wow.
That's not how I would have spelled it.
No.
I'm
Really?
thinking like there's some C's and H's.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was definitely H's.
Yeah, Dutch, man.
How long did it take to like get the accent like that?
I think a few months, like working at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get it until I actually moved there.
Would
Did
just
you have to learn how to speak Dutch?
Just the basics. It's interesting because, my wife and I were looking for somewhere to live, just abroad, and we wanted somewhere that would be mostly English speaking, just because it sounded a bit easier. She knows Spanish, I know English, and like some German, so not too much. But Amsterdam is actually surprisingly mostly, no, sorry, so they speak Dutch there, but mostly everyone also speaks English there. So you can very easily, I haven't gone into one shop where they don't speak English, or like one establishment. And also where I work, they speak English. The whole company speaks English, and actually
Wow.
they discourage speaking other languages at work just for inclusion. So yeah, it's very interesting.
Huh.
So it's actually been very difficult to even practice Dutch, but like my wife and I can go to a store or a market or like a bar or something, and order and talk a bit in Dutch. So don't ask me to say anything, please. But
You've had some good words so far.
yeah,
Hazel. I
Yeah,
mean, the
gezellig.
pronunciation's good. I like
Thanks.
that. From what I can
But-
tell, from my American opinion.
Thank you. That's really nice of you to say. Yeah. Thanks.
So like when you go to the grocery store, like how does it differ from like ours in the States to what's in Amsterdam?
Yeah. A lot of things are smaller scale. So if you think of a typical superstore, or
Won't say names.
yeah, like
superstores.
Cost store,
Places
or
where
like
the cost is low and
Targ store.
yeah, there's a yep.
Yep. Safe store,
So, yeah, very
Albert
yeah.
store. So these big like markets,
Stores with walls, maybe.
wall store.
Okay, yeah. Anyways,
yeah.
continue.
Store green. So
It's a stretch.
these American stores, they're big quantities and there's lots of space and lots of room. But when you're talking about an older city, like Amsterdam, it's very small scale, and the aisles are really small, the portions are really small, because typically people don't really bring cars to the markets in a city.
Mhm.
The majority of the city travels on bikes, and so what you want to do is go to the store and buy just enough to fit on your bike and bring back to your tiny apartment and fit in your tiny fridge and eat for like a couple days or something.
Yeah.
So it's a definitely lifestyle change. Like you would never ever buy 2 gallons of milk at once. Like that's a need to bike back home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't imagine like buying that and like a 32 pack of water and then like a
toilet paper
tri-tip,
as big as
massive toilet paper pack.
Right, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
running from you on the handlebars.
Right, yeah. So
Do you find yourself going to the store more then? Like more often?
Absolutely. And I'll actually speak on behalf of my wife because she actually shops more often than I do. Whenever I shop, I typically skip the important things and just buy snacks and like fun things. So
yeah, that's easier to carry.
she's better than I am. But yeah, I think before the current situation, we would typically shop like every 3 days or so, a couple times a week.
Oh, that's less than I thought actually.
Really?
I thought you'd go
Well,
like every day.
Once you have a good stock of ingredients and stuff. I think in our first apartment was much smaller, and that was maybe every couple days or so.
Mhm.
Yeah. But now we have a slightly bigger place. Still small, but slightly bigger. And we have we like to call it our American-sized fridge, which is like the size of like half of an American-sized fridge.
Yeah.
So you really got to pick and choose what you want to leave and buy. Yeah, but shopping it's much smaller scale, and I think we were talking about this earlier too. there aren't really, we don't have, you know, the
Big department stores.
big department stores that
Yeah.
are popular in America.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you go to a grocery store, you go buy groceries. They don't also have like mattresses or kayaks.
Oh, no way.
there.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. No.
Or TVs.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. No.
Do they celebrate Black Friday there?
I think America has bled over a bit.
Yeah, really?
I think they look down upon it, but I think there are some Black Friday deals every now and then.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. But they don't really observe Thanksgiving for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about 4th of July?
4th of July. We're the only people celebrating that we know of. Yeah. Surprisingly, there aren't international holidays.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's just, I mean,
Interesting, right?
Wait, is there Christmas or like the more traditional winter type holidays?
That's a good question. Yeah, there is. They do celebrate some Christmas there, but there's also a holiday called Sinterklaas.
oh.
And Sinterklaas is celebrated on December 6th, if I'm not mistaken, 5th or 6th. I could be wrong, actually.
I don't know why you're looking to me. I wouldn't know this.
Yeah, it's December 5th or so. But it's similar to Christmas, but Sinterklaas is the Dutch name for Santa Claus. And I want to remember all the details, but Sinterklaas lives in Spain. And
Ooh.
he comes
on
and
vacation.
He gives small gifts to children, and if you're bad, he will kidnap you and take you back to Spain with him. So you have to be
Threatening.
I mean, Spain sounds better than being kidnapped to the North Pole. Like,
Spain's pretty cool.
Spain seems pretty cool to me.
I don't know why Spain.
I don't know what part of Spain.
Yeah. So that's a little part of it.
Oh my gosh.
I'll stop there for Sinterklaas. but yeah, there are Sinterklaas and Christmas. They are celebrated by families. Yeah.
New Year's is huge. Also, like you've sent me videos of this
Oh.
the street. I mean, you can obviously tell it better than I can, but the videos I've seen you send me are like the streets just covered in fireworks, like everywhere you walk.
I think the best way to describe it is it feels like a war zone.
But fun or just
yes.
okay?
Whatever you're gonna say, yes. New Year's is the only day in the calendar year where the Netherlands can set off fireworks legally, but they go big. They go really big, so people like have their own private collection of fireworks, like professional fireworks, and the entire city is just lit up. But also, those dang hooligan kids, they somehow get a hold of these like cherry bombs and like explosive ones, and they'll throw it at people walking or biking down the street.
Just random people.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my goodness.
it's kind of scary. So you'll just be walking down the street and you'll just hear this boom behind you. Like, dang kids. But it's pretty nuts. The fireworks, they start at like 7 p.m. and go all the way till 2 a.m. sometimes.
Wow.
And it's the entire country. It's mayhem.
Yeah.
Wow. So it gets pretty bright then. Like
Pretty bright, pretty smoky.
Mm.
It's really fun. Yeah, they're burning things. It's kind of like anarchy. It's kind of scary.
And then just like January 1st just stops. Like everything back to normal.
Everything back to normal, and like tons of trash because it's all like the rappers and stuff.
Right.
But back to cold Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you said it starts at 7, but like I know
Yeah.
you've told me in the wintertime it just gets dark at like 4 or 5.
Yeah. Like you get to work, it's dark, and you leave work and it's dark, like pitch black. Yeah.
That does not sound fun.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. Like as a California boy, that's living in the sun all the time.
Yeah.
It's a bit tough to embrace the darkness and the cold.
Yeah. I mean, you get like 6 hours of sunlight, maybe.
Well, if it wasn't so cloudy. Yeah, ideally sunlight. Yeah.
If we could see the sun, it'd be
indirect sunlight, I would say. Yeah.
6 hours of brightness.
I would say like some days 9:30, the sun, it's like dark until 9:30, and then it gets dark around 3:30. It goes down at 3:30.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's like a short span of sunlight,
uh-huh.
and that's it. And you just go home and it's dark. Yeah.
Dang.
But I would say if you have the chance to visit Amsterdam, like April or May, it's always absolutely beautiful.
Mhm.
And this is like the reason why people like living in Netherlands or Amsterdam, because the trees start blooming and the flowers start blooming and everything is just beautiful again.
Yeah.
And it's like you make it through a long winter, and then all of a sudden you see this like sunlight and this warmth and this beauty all around you. People are in their boats and people are like biking outside. It's one of the best seasons. Yeah, it's amazing. So try and come in May, around that time.
To all you listeners out there, visit Amsterdam.
Disposable income.
Yeah.
So you guys, you've been like talking about biking a lot. So like, are there not a lot of cars?
Oh yeah, so I think you asked this a while ago.
I did. I said, save it. Just save it.
That's right. So there are cars in the city, but most of the people ride bikes, and there's a reason for that. The government has actually made driving super expensive. So parking, you are taxed by the size of your car, and like gas. I think I calculated the price for gas is like approaching $8 per gallon. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That's expensive.
It's
by, like,
really expensive.
any standard.
Yeah, it was like
for
$7.50 last time I checked. It's true. Yeah, so it's really expensive.
Oh my gosh.
And they're like really pushing for getting cars out of the city center. But I mean, I bike. My wife bikes. We don't own a car in Amsterdam. And biking is, believe it or not, actually faster than driving anywhere in the city, because you'll get backed up with trucks like offloading furniture in the middle of the canal, the street, and you can't get around them. If you're a bike, you can, but if you're a car, you're stuck there.
Yeah.
So it's actually very difficult to get around the city on a car.
When I was there, it seemed like there were more like big vans and like hauling trucks than there are like normal cars.
Yeah.
And I think you told me too, like there's more bikes than people.
Yes, that's right. That's right. The good fun fact.
Yeah, that's a fun fact.
Buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Cool. Yeah. There are more bikes than people.
Yeah. Look at
In
me.
Amsterdam.
I'm a local.
Yeah.
Matthew, have you ever visited Amsterdam?
Yeah, I've gone twice. I went last summer and the summer before, and yeah, both times it was amazing. Very fun, very pretty, good museums.
That's true.
Yeah, the museums are really nice.
Who's your favorite Dutch artist?
Rembrandt. Is he Dutch?
That's pretty
He's
good.
Dutch.
Yeah, that's
Rembrandt.
good. Yeah. Nice.
Rembrandt's my favorite. He's
what was the competition?
I think, is it Van Gogh?
Yeah, nice. Yeah,
those two
were
my
Yes, that has like been on one of my bucket lists. It's like they have a Van Gogh museum in Amsterdam, and I like really want to go to that.
Yeah,
it's really cool. You get to see all, like, not all, but a lot of his paintings, and see the progression of his career and like his mental health and how it changes art. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. I haven't been because it costs money. So I went to the free museum instead, which is right across the courtyard.
Smart.
No, it's definitely a cool museum on the outside. Yeah, you should go and see that.
Yeah, really cool.
But yeah, no, it's very pretty. Biking can be scary. I mean, you're used to it by now, but you guys rented a bike for me when I was there, and I almost hit this lady because I was like trying to like turn around in the middle of a bridge or like in the middle of a street kind of, and then this lady was cruising on her bike. She like skids, I skid, and she like yells at me in Dutch, or no, she says English actually. She's like,
English,
"Get out of the way, moron!" and then rings her bell and keeps riding. She like gave me a little ring on the way out, and then some old Dutch guy who's like 70 years old is walking by with a bag of groceries. He looks at me, and goes, "Ha ha ha," and then keeps walking. Like, thank you.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
So that was my experience biking.
Yeah, that's pretty good actually. You get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The big things are if you're biking, you do your hand signals like left and right, and then bikes have the right of way. So
Yeah.
cars,
oh my gosh,
look
yeah.
out. Tourists, look out.
Sure. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been the tourist, but I've also been the guy on the bike who has to avoid the tourists.
Yeah,
'cause it's
yeah.
like-
Especially in the summer during high season, the tourists are just they flood the streets, and I work kind of in the center of downtown, so I have to bike home, and there's like hundreds of people in my way on the way home. Like 15 minutes.
No.
But my favorite instance, I was biking home, and there was a group of three ladies walking in the middle of the road, which also cars and bikes share.
Mhm.
They were just walking in the middle, and the bells are like the horns, you ring your bell, and it's usually a courtesy. It's like, hey, look out. But if you like really crank it, it's like, move. might hit you, careful. So I rang it a bit, and I gave them enough space, and two of the ladies saw me and like jumped to the side, and the one in the middle saw me and went like, and just and just stood there, and I just went right around her and said, "You're okay." But that was her defense to go, "Ooh." But that happens a lot, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens a
seems
lot.
like this.
You kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
It's fun though. It's really fun. It's like seeing the city in a different way, because you can walk throughout the city,
yeah.
but biking, maybe you can share more. Like,
I mean, I've always
how it was.
enjoyed walking in general.
Mhm.
Because I feel like you can like look around and see things. Especially there, it's very pretty to stop and take pictures. But biking is definitely like a different perspective. I'd say I prefer walking.
Oh,
just because I like looking around. I feel like for biking, you have to really look like straight ahead. Because I'm also not. I'm a good. I mean, I can ride a bike, so I'm not gonna say I'm a bad biker, but like
You're
in
a good
terms of like.
biker.
But
I think you got bugs in your eyes one time.
Yeah, I did. Yes, that wasn't my fault though. The bugs were like the tourists. They were in the way. They were like.
You rang your bell.
I had my bell. I rang for them, and they just.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, but no, it was definitely when we rode our bikes to the park.
In the park.
And that was really fun.
Yeah.
I definitely like open streets better than busy streets. Like even around us. Like today we went for a bike ride here, and we just stayed in the neighborhood. We didn't go out into the busy street just because it's a little much.
Yeah, so you get to enjoy and look around without feeling like you're gonna get hit.
Yeah,
Exactly. I think most people share that mindset.
Okay.
I think most people agree. Yeah.
Well, I mean, all this biking probably makes you pretty hungry.
Yes.
I know there's some pretty good snacks in Amsterdam, at least ones that I've had while I was there. I don't know if you have any favorites.
That's a good question. So snacks, well, I think the big one is what's it called? The stroopwafel, or like a syrup waffle, it's called. I think you can find those in regular, maybe more like markets here, I would say.
They sell surplus of them.
Okay.
In like individual packets.
Yeah. So what you want to do, let me tell you, you go to a market.
Well, let's describe one first.
Yeah. Go to a market and they have this stroopwafel like hut or like a little stand or something, and they get these really tiny waffles. They're really thin, kind of crispy, and they put a fresh layer of caramel or like syrup on the middle, and then they press it together. And it's just like this gooey, crispy, sweet, crunchy waffle.
Yeah.
And it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. That's one thing. The other thing is probably bitterballen.
Oh.
Remember those things?
I remember those. Yeah. These are fun.
Yeah, super weird.
It's a bar snack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's basically a deep fried ball of gravy.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That you dip into mustard.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
So very healthy. Very good for you.
Very good for you. Yeah.
As was the stroopwafel.
It's a health food. Yeah.
Amsterdam's really all about health foods.
They are. Yeah. So yeah, bitterballen. That's like if you want to see some really like high Dutch culture, there's a couple of bitterballen music videos that all in Dutch on YouTube. and they're 100% cringeworthy and they're great. But so a few American snacks have made their way into like Dutch stores, and Doritos are actually pretty big there, unfortunately. But you guys know the nacho cheese flavor,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Red, yeah, and
Yeah.
you know the Cool Ranch flavor,
Yeah,
right?
so red and blue.
Red and blue, yeah,
Or
yeah.
Cool Ranch is blue.
Yeah,
Cheese is red.
exactly. But ranch dressing is a very American thing, and international audiences do not know what ranch dressing means, so you can't call something Cool Ranch and have them understand what it would be.
Oh yeah.
So what do you call it? You call it Cool American flavor. It's literally Doritos Cool American flavor. And it's ranch, but it's just Cool American flavor.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think as soon as I saw that, I sent the picture to Matthew.
Yeah.
I'm like, look what I have. Look what they have here. It's crazy. And then I guess we talk about more like typical meals. Amsterdam is a city. It's a lot of tourism too. So there's a lot of international foods, and you have a lot of selection there. So it's actually pretty good for food. It's getting better. Like coffee is getting really big there. Like international foods.
You've been into coffee.
Yeah. But traditionally, Dutch food and Dutch produced food. It's a big farmer and dairy country, I would say.
Mm-hmm. They have a cheese museum.
They have a cheese museum. Yeah. Like tulips are really big. I think Netherlands is like one of the world's largest supplier of like the world's majority of flowers.
Yeah, they had that whole crisis, wasn't that them?
Yeah. Yeah, we don't talk about that. Tough times. But a lot of dairy and a lot of bread is what you see a lot. So I wouldn't say this is typical, but a very funny, like stereotypical Dutch meal. I saw a coworker, very Dutch guy, like tall, blonde hair. He passed me with his tray for food at work at the cafe. And kid you not, he just had a plate with a triple-decker sandwich of white bread and then cheese in the middle and 2 glasses of milk. And that was his lunch. And he was like,
so happy.
Gonna fill up my cheese and milk, just white foods only.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Oh,
and that's, I mean, I don't want to say that's every meal because it's not, but we've also gone to a friend's house and they offered us lunch for the meals and lunch for the day, and it was an assortment of 4 different kinds of bread and like 3 different kinds of cheeses and hummus and peanut butter, and that was it. That was our lunch. So they really like their food. They like their bread and their cheese and their dairy. But it is really good.
I mean, like you guys have good bread.
Good bread,
bread is
super
really
good bread.
Yeah.
Gouda cheese is actually Gouda. It's a city in the Netherlands.
Oh.
So Gouda cheese.
Yeah.
We don't say aged cheese. It's just called old. So you just say old Amsterdam cheese.
Huh.
So, another fun fact.
We're just full of fun facts.
Yeah.
Today. This is great.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's all we have for Amsterdam questions.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, everyone who's listening, now you know everything there is to know about the city.
Pretty much.
City of Amsterdam.
That's all I need to know.
And a few fun facts of the whole station and the types of cheeses.
Yeah, you can share those with your friends. I'm sure they'd love those.
But it's like a heavy quoted fun fact.
Yeah. Heavy on the fun, right?
Heavy on the fun.
But that, I think, takes us into our next segment, which is the first rendition of Is This Still Cool? So,
I don't know. Is it?
We're going to talk about whether it is or not.
Excited.
Is this topic still cool?
Yeah. We'll let the viewer decide. We'll see how long it stays around.
Comment.
Yeah.
It dies this episode.
The one and only segment of Is This Still Cool?
Short-lived.
I think the first one we're gonna start with, because we're 2000s kids, you're a 90s baby. So we all have loved and enjoyed Razor scooters. For those who may not know, which probably isn't many of you, a Razor scooter is a typical push scooter, handlebar, 2 wheels, usually silver in color. Is it still cool?
Yes.
Asking me?
Yeah, I think I'm asking both of you guys. Milan says yes.
You say
Yeah.
yes?
Yes, definitely.
I'm
And,
very
like, how do scooters become uncool though? Like,
they do have the electric scooters now. All
that's true.
those.
yeah,
So
but, like, the traditional, like,
that's
vintage is coming back.
okay.
Wait, is Razor scooter vintage?
I don't know if it's vintage yet.
Well, like the old stuff, because if like electric's new, the traditional then has to be old. The modern type electric scooter. There we go.
Okay, nice save.
Thank you.
Vintage razors.
Vintage razors.
I
I
mean
guess they are kind of vintage though, aren't they? Like they're not vintage, but they're not new.
they're definitely not. I mean, they still come out with new one. No, I haven't seen a new one in a while actually.
Well, I haven't seen like the commercials. I remember used to like seeing commercials and they used to have the sparks like flying off the back, and I was like, I need one, and I have two.
You got those ones?
Yes.
I was gonna bring that one up actually, that exact type, because I remember seeing those commercials too. I remember seeing ones where you put crayons in the back of it and would push it down and you ride.
And you like the chalk, the sidewalk chalk.
No. So this was all like probably 9 or 10 years ago also, wasn't it? So this is
chalk?
Crayons. A chalk, yeah.
Chalk.
Not crayon. Crayons would snap. Yeah, that's my bad.
No. It's like sidewalk chalk, and you like tie it, and then the like brake part of it would like loop on, and like when you rode and you spun it out really hard, like you could like create like chalk dust and like little designs.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool. I remember those, but that's probably the last like innovation I've seen. I mean, and then I remember like 3 years ago, those big wheel razor scooters got really big. For like working people, like I would see people in San Francisco with suits, like riding those down the street with like the huge wheels.
Because they're portable, but you can still ride them in the city or something.
And they ride faster than the tiny little
small ones. Yeah.
Man, well, there's a lot of things that have happened since I was a kid. Man, well, I remember when Razor scooters first came out though.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I remember I was on vacation and I saw one in the store. I'm like, I have to have this. They're like, we're not going to fit that in the plane back. I'm like, okay, when we get home, I got to buy it.
What was there before? Were there no scooters?
I think most kids just had like inline skates or skateboards. And then scooters weren't really cool. We had the typical like inflatable tire ones, but Razor scooters were so cool.
Inflatable tire?
You know, like a regular like pump up tire.
For a scooter?
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
No.
I've never
I feel like on a Jimmy Fallon segment when he's like asking the millennial girl like things.
It's the opposite. It's like records, kids. You ever heard of CDs?
So new still. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm so old right now. Can you see my grays coming in? Yeah, so Razor scooters were so cool because they were so sleek and the tire was, or the wheel was solid.
Yeah.
But usually before they had scooters, it was, well, I could be wrong, but most scooters I saw were like inflatable tires, like a very small bike. Yeah.
Well, I've never.
And they had grip tape on. I guess they have those Razor scooters too.
Yeah, Razors have.
But it was like wood and maybe like a metal frame around it, and then you'd push on that, and it had inflatable tires.
Wow.
So Razor scooters were super cool because you could like carry it with you on your backpack, and you can bring it to school and like do tricks and like.
Yes, you could fold it in half. That was like the coolest thing ever. Was that you could just like. You're done riding.
Kids would practice that one move where it's folded up and you go like, and it snaps down.
Was that the cool thing back when you were in school? Was that
everyone tried so hard to do it so quickly? Man, but I remember when it first came out because I had gotten some Christmas money, and I had gotten some birthday money too, and I had saved up like, I think it was like $100 or something. That was a lot of money as a kid,
That's a lot of money now.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of cash to have.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, I had so much to buy, and I had the choice between buying myself a Razor scooter or a Nintendo 64, which had just come out too. And these were two of the cool things.
That was only $100 for a Nintendo 64?
Yeah, I think it was the one you have actually.
Yeah.
It came with it's gonna like divide a lot of our audience. But it came with Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer.
That's the best game.
It is.
Yes.
It is the best game.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the best.
It's not really, but it's really fun.
No, it definitely is. Viewers out there in audience, you should definitely check out Pod
Check out
Racing.
Episode 1 Racer. That's my pick of the week.
New segment. Brooks' game pick of the week.
I guess it's a spoiler of what I actually bought. I bought the Nintendo.
Oh.
Yeah, I bought the Nintendo. It was like summer. I'm like, I don't need to be outside. I gotta buy a Nintendo for myself. So I bought a Nintendo, and yeah, that thing was awesome. And later on, I think I bought. It's kind of funny. I think I bought a Target branded Razor scooter, but it was not as good.
Oh, really?
No, it was like the place where you put your foot was too long.
Uh-huh.
So of course my friends would go down these like curbs and stuff. I would always scrape every time, and, like, fly off my scooter. Like, dang, Target branded scooter.
Never heard of that brand before.
Oh yeah, it was really bad. Ooh. Yeah.
Dang.
So that was it. So Razor scooters still cool.
Yeah, definitely still cool.
Cool for me.
Yeah, that's a
Cool for me.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, Razor scooter's still cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Other wheeled instruments from the early 2000s though. Heelys.
Heelys.
The heels with wheels, I believe was the
Heels
slogan.
with wheels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are those still cool?
Oh.
Oh, that's an
Sorry.
immediate
Let me think about it.
I think
I need some Heelys to escape my feelies. That's this week.
I've seen them come back, but more as a meme.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
But in a good way, where I've had group chats with people and people say, does anyone know if they sell Heelys in adult sizes because I really want some? Like they will see people riding around like cities or areas and they'll like see people on Heelys like, oh, I want that. And so it's like, it's almost, I think it's
like a forgotten type thing. Like if you don't think about it and you don't see it, you're not gonna be like, I want that. But then like the minute you see someone or there's like a video, you're gonna be like, you know what? I need Heelys.
Because there's nothing like it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
There's never really like a real competitor.
Yeah.
Did you guys have Heelys growing up? Like did you have your own pair?
Yes.
Yes,
I did.
I remember I really wanted a pair when I was probably 11. And so I got a pair for Christmas. And it was always just way too afraid to use them.
Ooh,
Same.
Because the idea of leaning backwards in order to move was just like so
I feared like fall and like crack my head open.
And so one time I went to the mall with our dad and I was in the middle. This is the middle of the entire mall. the only mall in town. I had elbow pads, wrist guards, and knee pads and a helmet on. He was holding my hands as he pulled me on the Heelys while I'm like shaking.
Matthew.
That was the only time I ever wore or used Heelys. I never wore them again.
That's so precious. I didn't know that.
But I feel like they were gone for a solid 10, 9, 8 years or so.
Well, I think they got banned at a lot of schools because I know at my school we had them and then they got like you couldn't wear them at all and it was dress coded and taken away.
They just like start skating away from the teachers like catch me if you can.
Man, that's intense.
I think like that reminds me of when you said like if you don't see it you don't think about it.
Mhm.
That reminds me of those zip up hoodies. That
Oh
would
my
zip
gosh,
up
I
your
have one of
kid.
those.
You
Oh
do?
my gosh.
It's not like the brand, but like it's like a Christmas themed one, and it turns, if you zip it all the way up, it turns into a reindeer and it has little bells on it.
That's even better.
Yes, it is so cute, and it says like happy jolly days because it like rings.
That was one of the things
That's
I
great.
always wanted, and never got. But like just the idea of like I imagined myself walking to school and like sitting in class with it fully zipped up and like just looking through the
Oh, you had eye holes.
yeah, not eye holes, but it was almost like
A mesh or
vents,
something.
like a mesh you could see through.
Oh, did they ever have ones that just sealed, like you couldn't see out of?
Like a body bag.
Yeah, that's like
The off-brand
I mean, you need to breathe somehow.
fabric. I don't know. Kids will figure it out.
No, I can't say they did.
Oh.
Okay, I'm adding that as a last minute. Is this still cool? And
Cool.
I'm gonna say yes to Heelys, just because I
Interesting.
like them and I've seen them coming back. So
Okay, but do you like them enough that you would get a pair and actually try it?
That's a really good question. If you had spare money, but just the right amount to buy X, in this case Heelys,
yeah,
would you buy it?
no, because I have rollerblades, which are also coming back, and I think those are bigger.
I have rollerblades, and they
Yeah.
adjust to your foot, so like you can change them because they're for like kids. Different story. They are for kids, so like kids are constantly growing, so you can make them like bigger until like you have to get a new pair. But I don't because I'm a size 3 in children's shoes.
Stay tuned for the next episode of the podcast. We'll talk more about this.
But I think Heelys have made it back enough to say that they are cool, and in saying they are cool, I think they are still cool. Because I don't think my purchase determines whether or not they're still cool. Like I personally wouldn't buy them, but I think the masses of society would consider them cool. So I'm gonna say they're still cool. But hoodies, no. The zip up hoodies are not cool.
No, I don't feel like they caught on to like the trend that they needed to have to be like, we need to have this constantly and like bring it back.
Heelys or the hoodies?
Hoodies.
Okay. What about Heelys?
Heelys?
I
don't know. I feel like it's a hit or miss with Heelys. Like some people really love them and some people don't. Like it's, I don't know. I don't know if it's still cool or if it's
one's pretty bad at Heelys.
I'm in between. I'm on a, it might be still cool.
Okay.
Ooh, a hard maybe. Okay.
I will say,
yeah,
this is a hot take here, but I will say Heelys were never cool. And they're still not cool.
That's a statement.
Period. But I definitely paid money and bought them.
I feel the idea of them is cool, but like wearing them, because like, not gonna lie, the style of the shoe is not flattering. They're bulky.
What? They're skate shoes. That's
they're bulky. And then you put the wheels on.
Actually, that was a really big style when I was younger though. Like girls and guys would all buy the same big skate shoe style. And Heelys totally tapped onto that.
Yeah. So it was definitely your hot take was very hot because
sorry.
I think they were definitely cool when they were around. Something that was cool when it was around, and I still think sorry, yes. Go ahead.
So distinction between cool and trendy, I think, are two different things here.
Yes.
Something can be trendy, but I think cool is only a thing you can really tack on in retrospect.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair. I stand by my statement. I think they're
okay.
I think they're
agree
cool.
to disagree.
Well, like Crocs. It's sorry. Now we're throwing in another one, but like Crocs,
they weren't
considered cool, and then now like they're coming back, and like people are like willingly wearing Crocs.
Yeah, they were very uncool for a long time, and
yeah, people would be like, "Oh, I'm sending like my kid," and like if my kid ever acts up, I'm sending them to school in a Justin Bieber t-shirt and Crocs.
Yeah, no, Crocs are huge now.
Wow.
They like went up in price. I remember being like, oh, like Crocs, like they're like not that much, and then now they're like $40.
Yeah, Yeah, they're definitely really cool now. Something that isn't really cool now. No offense to this band, which I love.
Do you want me to introduce this part?
Oh, go for it.
This is my submission to the
Yeah.
Is It Still Cool? I think this is a big hot debate we need to really spend a minute on is NSYNC versus Backstreet Boys.
Mhm.
Are either of these still cool? Or is there a reigning champion now? What is it, 20 years later, I think?
Is it really?
Yeah, their heyday was probably back
Wow.
in turn of the millennium.
Yeah, no, that's
In
fair.
fact-
Yeah, that's fun fact.
A
here.
Backstreet Boys album is called Millennium.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, I want to get this right, and I don't want to offend any listeners we may have who have
Mhm.
any interest in this, which is pretty close to zero probably. But NSYNC is the one that had Justin Timberlake in
Correct.
it.
Correct.
As
Right.
well
And
as
Backstreet
the
Boys
time.
had Nick Carter.
Who?
Nick Carter.
Nick Carter, Aaron Carter's older brother.
Aaron Barrett?
Who?
So I think I know the members of NSYNC. I definitely know the members of NSYNC better. So I know
Mm.
Justin Timberlake. I know the
Okay.
songs of Backstreet Boys
Okay.
better.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say neither of them are still cool. I'm-
I mean, neither of them still exist. So like they're not like still making music.
I think NSYNC came out with an album like last year.
Did they?
I think they
Really?
did. One
I
of
feel
those
like I
two-
would have heard about that.
One of those two came out with an album, or at least a single, very recently. I think it was NSYNC, because I think Justin Timberlake wasn't a part of
Okay,
it.
wait. NSYNC gets points because Lance Bass plays the bass in the band. Like that's just come on. That's the boost point.
Slaps the bass.
Do you think that was like? Do you think he already played that before he joined, or was he like a guitarist and they're like, no, you're learning bass. You're.
Holy smokes. So you're right. Backstreet Boys released a full LP in 2019.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So Backstreet's back. All right.
All right. Sick.
that was a good one. Thank you.
For sure.
Thank you. But personally, I think neither. I mean, if NSYNC came back and they had their frosted tips look, if Justin Timberlake was there in denim jacket with frosted tips,
Ooh, nice.
I would still say they're not cool. Actually, I don't know what to they're not cool. Neither of them
Okay.
are still cool.
Okay.
I don't know. They both have really good, like the songs you associate with them, like Bye Bye Bye, and then like I Want It That Way, or like
Is that
Yeah.
NSYNC?
It was NSYNC.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I know what album and track that was on the
Oh
CD.
my
Yeah,
gosh.
because I actually bought that album
Oh,
at a CD store,
that's
record store.
we're so were boy bands cool back then? Because now, or I
Yes.
guess not
Oh,
now, but like
absolutely.
within the past 10 years, if someone likes a boy band, like, oh, you like a boy band? That's like
I
Yeah.
feel back in the 90s, a boy band was like for everyone. Like even the guys got into it. Whereas like now, like the boy bands get targeted so heavily towards a female generation and like that
Mhm.
audience.
Yeah.
yeah.
When I was 9, we had like heated debates at lunchtime, which was cooler, Backstreet Boys or NSYNC. And it was like a discussion we had pretty regularly.
Wow.
It was in sync.
Well, I remember
Good one.
like if a guy brought up like One Direction versus like I guess the only comparison at that time was Big Time Rush.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so
That
for I know at
fascinating.
least that was elementary school for Big Time Rush. And
I was in
I know if any guy brought up like even mentioned Big Time Rush really, they'd like get like
I don't think.
Flamed.
Yeah.
They get bullied.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
a TV show on Nickelodeon
Yeah,
about a
yeah.
boy band and it wasn't
And then they
I watched it.
were a band outside of like the show.
It was not good.
Were you about to say it's not good?
I did
Is
say
that what I'm hearing? Am
I
I
did
hearing
say
Big Time
that.
Rush slander?
I did say that.
Oh wow, what?
Oh, I can't. We're not doing a podcast anymore. That's the final straw.
Going out with a bang.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with Big Time Rush. I still have like a big poster like over like on my wall over there. It's like a big. I met them. They sang me happy birthday. I cried. I'm obsessed with Big Time Rush.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah, if Backstreet Boys sang me Happy Birthday, I'd probably cry too.
Okay, so are you more of a Backstreet Boys stan then?
I think so. I think I like. I see. I don't. I know Backstreet's back. um,
Mhm.
I
Name me one other song by Backstreet Boys.
I Want It That Way.
Yes, I just
Yeah.
said that like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yes, I don't. The line is blurred between the two for me. They're both '90s boy bands. I
I
just
feel they're cool for people who grew up with them. Just
Okay.
as like One Direction and Big Time Rush will only be cool to those like who grew up with them, not like listening to them later like, oh my gosh, I grew up in the wrong generation type people.
Ooh, yeah, definitely. I feel
You
that.
picked the Happy Fit song? Sorry, I just scrolled down and saw.
Hey.
I'm like, wait, I was gonna do that, but no, that's fine.
I showed you that song. So, are they cool still?
Okay, so Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. I guess we could say are one of them cooler than the other, or
I
are
guess.
both,
Or just are either of them still cool?
or neither?
Or neither. Yeah, I mean, and one of them can be cool. They're not a package. They don't have to both still be cool. Like one of them can still be cool. One of them, because I mean, Backstreet Boys just came out the album, so maybe
They're still relevant.
they're not. But yeah, maybe to some.
So I was a NSYNC boy myself, but I do enjoy me a nice Backstreet Boy jingle here and there.
Yeah.
Are they cool? Yeah, both.
Wow.
I'd say they're both cool.
Okay.
They've kind of they peaked, they fell, and now they're back. Kind of as a joke, but also if you listen to their songs, they're catchy.
Oh, very.
They're
much
really
so,
really
yeah.
good, and they have some pretty good musicianship and like songwriting stuff because they all
Yeah.
outsource it. But it's really good. I really like it.
Yeah.
Talented boys.
Definitely.
Yes.
2 thumbs up.
Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Cool. This might haunt me in the future.
Yeah. Well, I think speaking of music and moving into our last little segment here, we're gonna give some song recommendations to our viewers. This is how we end every podcast.
Yes.
And if you have a song recommendation
Yeah.
on hand, something people might want to listen to.
For sure.
I think that's what most people do with music these
Yeah,
days.
let's listen to it. Yeah. My recommendation for this podcast is a song called Nay You by a band called Chon. That's CHON. This song features Masego. Chon is like an instrumental, like laid back shred band. Hard to describe, but I've listened to them a lot, and they're pretty cool. Fun to listen to.
I forget if their album is called San Diego or if they just give me San Diego vibes.
Yeah, maybe.
But
yeah,
and Masego is just incredibly talented. Like one of my favorite musicians.
Yeah, it's really cool mashups and
big fan of that one.
Yeah, check out Chon.
Yeah, and the song's called, or it's spelled Nayhoo.
Nayhoo.
Yeah. It's a little tricky one. You want to go next, or you want me to go?
Sure, I'll go. Mine was Light On by Maggie Rogers. It's very pretty, very elegant, slow, and then kind of picks up pace in the middle, and it's just like just a good vibe. Like I imagine listening to it like on an empty road and just driving straight. Like that's the headspace.
Cool. That's a good vibe. I like that. I like that a lot.
Nice.
My song recommendation is Too Late by the Happy Fits. Fun fact about this song is I heard it in a sorority rush recruitment video that was on my Instagram feed.
Nice.
And I said, hey, I like this song. I'm not gonna join the sorority because I'm a guy, but this is a good song. And it just has I like it a lot. It's good for cooking in the kitchen or driving or doing homework. It gets you going.
Nice.
It gets you going.
I'm so sorry. We may take a break to edit. I need to go take care of my baby.
We're
now.
about to wrap it up. Yeah.
Perfect. And I'm gonna go. And then we
Okay.
can
Thank you
sign
so much
off.
for joining us today, Brooke.
Thank you,
Nice
everyone.
to
Enjoy the
meet you.
podcast.
Yeah.
You guys.
Thank you very much, Brooke. Yeah, let's wrap it up. Any last comments, Mom?
No, but the Happy Fits is a great band. That is all I have to say. I love them. The whole entire album, Concentrate. Sorry.
Yeah, she recommended to me the band a long time ago.
Yes. I'm always liking them.
Yeah. There will be a few bands that you probably see reoccurring, or band recommendations we strongly recommend.
Yes, definitely.
I know one you'll recommend very soon.
Yes.
Or
Coming all those songs to consecutive podcasts till I recommend the whole album.
The whole album, yeah, it'll be. But yeah, it
was a really good episode. It's nice to meet your brother.
Mhm.
Didn't know you had a brother. No, I'm just kidding. I did know he had a brother.
Oh, you did. You showed up.
I thought it was like a lie. Like he just was an only child and needed to make himself feel better. It's an imaginary sibling.
Imaginary brother, yeah. He lives in Amsterdam. He's far away.
He doesn't go to the same school.
He doesn't go here. You wouldn't know him.
Yes.
But yeah, no, very fun having him here. I'm gonna definitely hang out with him and the baby a lot more in the next few days.
Yeah.
It's very cool being an uncle. I would highly suggest it to all people. If you have the opportunity to be an uncle or aunt, highly suggest.
And I guess that'll conclude our episode on Amsterdam versus US comparisons.
Yeah, actually, fun fact also, they played in the World Cup of Women's 2 last summer. Netherlands versus US. USA won. Go USA.
Biased.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That'll do it for us. Thank you guys for listening. Take care.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Thank you to our moms for moderating and our dads for proving nods and occasional thumbs up.
We would also like to thank all of our wonderful nurses and doctors that we have had along the way and remind you that they are healthcare professionals, not us.
Please keep in mind, any medical information or stories shared and discussed in this podcast are based on personal experiences and are not meant to serve as medical advice. Please talk with your doctor about any medical concerns, questions, and guidance, as they are trained medical professionals.
Any brands, corporations, trademarks, or characters in the show, even those based on real people, are purely fictional.
The Wish Kids wish you well.